Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for Thursday, September the 2nd, and we're starting with Amazon here, and our primary count for Amazon on this daily chart is having wave 3 here with an A wave and a B wave and a C wave for wave A, and then we go to wave B after that and then wave C. Now I've got these guys here with a question mark because you know, this market hasn't finished at top very nicely. So I'm just looking at both counts. Now what we've done is we've been long from here and our target was up here, and we'll take a closer look at that, and we exited at the 3,500, which is a minor level 5. So currently we have 3 waves to the upside as little A, B, C here, and we've taken profit because that's where it can turn. It's going to stall there anyway because it's in the 50-60% retracement area. It's at the 35. We can see that the 3,500 carries weight. 5 is the second strongest number in the market after 1. So it's going to stall there for a bit. Okay, so it was a nice place to take profit. What I'm waiting to see is if this, I've got this labeled as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here just to be safe, take the money off the table. But what I want to see is, like, will we actually get 5 waves up here? You know, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it looks like nice and long third wave there as well. So it's quite possible that we can get those 5 waves there, but that's what we would be waiting for, gathering evidence for that. We don't have to trade the 5th wave here because once we get the end of the 5th wave, we're just going to fold back here anyway. So we will pick it up at this point over here or somewhere over here if that's going to be the case. If that's not the case, well then we're just going to see the market come down to wave C through here. And we can look at the shorting side of it. We would wait for, if we're going from B to C here, wave A is normally sharper, so wave C would be on a bit more of an angle if that was the case. But as you can see here, we've got this wave 1 and 2 here. So if we were going to short it, we would be looking in this little area over here for that. I know this is hindsight and pretty picture and it's easier said than done and all those sort of things, but we've got ways to get it, so to speak. So let's just go to the tick chart. And in a nutshell, our trade has been from this point to take profit at the 3,500. And we've been looking at this as the A wave, the B wave, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C wave. So it's all counted out quite nicely. In fact, we could probably even get another one out of this. I'll have to look on the tick chart in my own time, but it does look like wave 1 and 2 in here, and all of this is the 3rd wave. I'll have to double check that, but it don't matter. We've done our job, and we'll do some work on this now. This is 100 ticks, so I'll go into 10 ticks and sort it out. Now, obviously, if this was going to be what we're looking for here, this wave A here, if we're looking for a higher move up, then we'll look at that as wave 1 and all of this here as wave 3, and we'll come back for wave 4. So wave 4, this is the 38.2% retracement level. It can come back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So normally I just sort of create a little box like this just to give us a bit of an idea, and then we gravitate over to price. We also have a look at the structure, all of those sorts of things to make it complete. But for now, we just don't do anything at this particular point in time, and we'll probably spend, it looks a little bit impulsive coming down through here, being 5 waves. If that's the case, then we're likely to see a rally and another 5 down. But yeah, I've got to get that sorted out because there could be one more little high in here for that. So, but I'm not worried about that, but we'll sort that out. Okay, but anyway, job done. So that's all good on that front. So let's go to the next stock, which is Square. It's a daily chart here for Square. Once again, with this stock, as you know, we've got wave 3 here with an A and a B and a C here for wave 4. We've counted 5 waves up here. There's a good case for that. Sure, there's a couple of things that are inconsistent and break a rule or two, like wave 4 overlapping wave 1, but you know, at some point you've got to make a choice. And so, you know, we've had a long trade on this below the level, above the level, and getting stopped out up here. So a small profit. So what I've been waiting for here, this move down through here can be counted as 3 waves or 5 waves. So I've waited for the next structure, so which is wave B here. So with wave B, we'd expect it to be pulling back up to the 50-60%, which it has done, and it would be in 3 waves. And as you can see there, it is in 3 waves. It doesn't mean that that's is a B wave at that point. I mean, it could go higher. But if we've got 5 waves, if this is the little A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave going up here, that C wave would be in 5 waves, so we'll check on that. So that means that any move above that little structure there, we could go long on. We're currently in group 2, minor group 2, which is 65, 72 and 80. Well, it's 280 and 265, but that's how I call it. So it's an area, if it was going to fail, this is where it's going to fail from here. One of the things now that it's done this little pattern here, if the 65 becomes the retested resistance, you could use, the classic trading levels pattern. This is a variation of it. So if this is the 265 across here, let the market come down, bounce back rather. It will drop through, it'll come back and check supply, sellers. Normally that move up there is on lower volume because it's a stock, it'll be easy to see. Increasing volume here, diminishing volume here. That reference point is important, and secondly, you can get a better position here, so building your trade in at that point. It may get a bit messier than this, and what I mean by that is that it can come back up above the level, and in that case, you just need to keep your eye on the price, and the eye on the price is this particular low here, that reference point low and the second low, and you may get a third low over here as well. So also understanding the price over here is important as well, because there'll be big numbers over here, and they can help you refine your entries, because as the market moves through, they're going to be doing much the same sort of pattern as this again here as well. Markets, you know, they're all the same, like all us human beings the same. We've got arms and legs and eyes, but we're all uniquely different, and each market is uniquely different, and there's reoccurring patterns, and you need to, you know, identify them if you've got a bit of a keen eye. Let's just move in and have a look at the tick chart. So with this here, first of all, this move that's come down through here can be counted as 5 waves or 3 waves. So that's not very helpful for us, okay? So this move up here I think is interesting, because we could count it as an A and a B and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Counting, you know, everything's accounted for. So we've got 3 waves here. We don't have 5 waves here for this. So that makes it corrective. The B wave here is in 3 waves, so that's nicely sort of there, but that could be bullish as well, so that's not very helpful. Now we've got 5 waves here, 1 and 2, and there'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, the 3rd wave, 4th wave, 5th wave here. So as I mentioned yesterday, that we could go long above here. In fact, what we can do now is we can take that off there and we can go to here, because this rally down here appears to be, well, it's a pretty straight line, isn't it? So that would tell me that it's impulsive. And then we've got a corrective move here that has pretty much come back to the 50-60% of that rally there. Good enough. It's hitting the 72 there. It's in 3 waves, an A and a B, and 5 waves for the C wave there. So we can go long above that level there. That would be the long trade at that point, because that's the point that I'd be wrong at. And I think it's important to understand both sides of the market. That makes your job easier. So, the trick here, though, is that let's just look at the other side of the market for a moment. Let's just say that this actually was 5 waves up here, but we missed something, or, you know, the market didn't do something right, and we've got these 5 waves here. Well, from that low to that high, we've got that 50-60%, so that's where it should come back to. But it's moved down here not in 3 waves, it's moved down here in 5 waves, so that means we're going to get another 5 waves over here. Now, it will probably sit on the 65 here. This is a good sort of pattern here just to go back over things a little bit, because you can see the market came down here, bounced off, it went back, came through, so that's your low there, right? Then it's retested here, so then it's come back down, so then you got the second low here, but it never came back down and clicked you in on the third one. Do you know what I mean? So that means that just this pattern here again, you know, we had the setup from here and we had the second setup from here, but the market went back up again at that point, so it didn't get rejected from there. So this is one of the benefits of this particular it's very simple, but there's kind of a lot behind it in a way, in terms of how it's the market depth which we basically bring the price in for, the volume in for, and so on and so on. So the same thing's going to happen here again. So we don't really need to do anything. There will be probably 5 waves coming down through here. So the market could come back down to this point and move off from that point, right? So we still need that as the resistance there. Now you could probably go onto a 10-tick chart, and because if we're looking for the short trade setup, we want, you know, we want that next, don't we? So we can just copy that, we can leave that there, and we're looking for this to occur here. So this is probably like a third wave happening down here, so it's going to be a little bit different. So we may end up looking, because to me here, this is looking like, this is sort of like a little fourth wave here. So we could probably get 1 and 2, and yeah, I'd have to have a look at that there a bit more. But yeah, anyway, down here, and there's going to be support here, and there's going to be support here, but still we'll need that there. We could get in earlier, but I'd need to be there at the day, you know. Okay, enough waffling on for that, but I think it's like a worthy short trade really, because when we go back to the daily charts, and you don't have to shovel it all in, you know, and expose yourself and have problems breathing and all the rest of it. All you really want to do is get a very small position here, and you only want to risk like 0.5%, because you can put your stop quite close. And I should talk about that too. And then we can also add under here as well for this, because if this is going to be wave 3 here, well then wave 4 logically should come back down to this area through here. So it depends if you're using leverage and you're paying, you know, financing costs on that and all those sorts of things. Let's move on. Though this is Google, so a daily chart here, which doesn't really look much different from its tick chart really. That's what I find fascinating. It's a very tightly sort of guarded stock. Will we reach this major trading level 3 up here for this? I don't know, but this is the count. This would be, if this is wave 3 here, technically wave 4 can come back to the 38.2% retracement level, which is sort of below below this medium level here, 250. Medium levels just halfway between 2 major levels. Just breaks down. You've got a problem, and using the trading level sort of breaks it down into parts, so you can break the problem into smaller parts and resolve them, so to speak. It's helpful like that. I don't think that this will pull down. I don't think this is going to pull down to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. 38.2% retracement levels here. It's a very tight stock, so it will probably just come back to this wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here. Our question is how far will it move up through here? So we'll go to the tick chart and we'll investigate that a little bit further. This is just 100 ticks here for this. And yeah, so where are we in here? We've got wave 4 here, we've got wave 1 here and 2 here, for that's good. And then we've been counting up here, so that's right. So I'll just clean this up a little bit. I really need to go to the, we just don't need that there, for that's a bit misleading, all of that. So we'll just pop that out of the way for the time being. But, you know, as I mentioned yesterday, when this tops out, let's just take profit on these long trades, wherever they may be. yeah, when this tops out, well then, you know, that's a good sign that the Nasdaq and that is, I mean, because these stocks make up the Nasdaq, so these stocks are going to, you know, they govern the, I guess the kind of the indices are kind of a moving average of the stocks, of course, but they've also got their own identity as well in that regard, you know. So yeah, look, we've just been waiting for this wave 4. Maybe that's wave 5 just here, just looking at this through here. I know that's a little wave 4 here. So maybe that's 1 and 2 and all the way up, or 1 and 2, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for that. I don't know. I'll have to check on the tick chart. But look, when we arrived here, we knew that we're going to get wave 4. I know that we're going to be here for a while, so it's not a biggie, you know. But I do need to check that. So what I will do for that, I'll just put a little question mark here, and it'll probably take me a week to check it. But we've got time for this. It's not a big deal, because we still need to. We still need to. We don't have. This is wave 2, right? There's no wave 4 here yet, right? So we need something that's a little bit clearer, and then we'll be heading up to there. So the length of wave 1 here, we can look at over here. But markets like to finish on big numbers, you know. So that's sort of where we're heading, and this would probably be the end, the top of the stock market for wave 3 here as well. Okay, that's Google out of the way, and Apple. So with Apple here, we're at this medium level on a daily chart, and you know, there's 2 ways to look at this. So it's probably this one here, right, with wave 4 here, with 1 and 2 and 3 here, and coming back for 4 and up for 5, looking for 5 waves up through here. Okay, that's probably the case. But when I go to the tick chart, I've got this wave, I've got this, it didn't want to move, so maybe it's not meant to move. So superstition. I've got wave 4 over there, which looks really silly, but I have to say I count 3 waves up to there, and I count 5 waves down here. So that's what I've got, but it's probably wrong, and this is probably right through here. But in a nutshell, we're looking for, you know, this wave 3 top here as well, of course. So let's just go to the tick chart, and based on that. So from my blue wave 4 through here, and we'll go back in a minute, but I have counted 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and anyway, wave 3, I wonder why that moved, wave 4, and then we've got wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. We don't need that now. So we're looking for that top of 5 of 5 of 5 of 3 there, but that wave 4 looks a little bit silly on the daily chart. We'll have a look at that on the tick chart in a moment. So if that's not the top, then we've got to look at this as wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and then wave 5 over here, which is probably the case. And that means that I could take this low, that's just roughly speaking there, and this high, and 38.2% retracement levels there. So just put that line there, so I just know this, just my way of knowing. So yeah, does look a little bit impulsive, but it could be, I'd have to check that top. But anyway, a bit of work to be done on that one. And if I go back a little bit further, maybe 1,000 should do the trick on this one. Not quite. Oh yeah, don't need that anymore. I'm going to try and label my charts and medium levels and minor levels and those things, so folks have got a bit better understanding of things. So just going back a little bit more, so just bringing that there. See, it's when you look at the daily chart, it's more logical to have wave 4 here and look at this as wave 1, but I find it a little bit difficult to get 5 waves out of this, unless I go sort of 1 and 2 here and 3 and 4 here, but then that doesn't make much sense either. And then here I can count sort of 5 waves here, so it's a little bit perplexing and a little bit tricky. Maybe I've counted this wrong and I need to just sit with it for a while and mull it over a bit, you know. So wave 4 can be here, and that would be wave 1 and 2 here, and this would be wave 3 up here with this wave 4 here. Got it? And then we'd be looking at wave 5 moving up into this space. Otherwise, if wave 4 is sitting over here, where it still doesn't want to go over there, it's probably wrong here then. And if it's here, then we've got a top in play here. But we can see that Google's not topped out yet and so on. So, yeah, but still, we'll see how that plays out, as long as you're aware. If this market pulls back down too deeply and overlaps this here, if it comes back to the 150, then, well, even then there's probably not a problem. I mean, maybe, and just shooting the breeze here, if we took this length here, and then came back to, that brings us back right onto the 50-60% level there. I mean, maybe I'm a bit short-sighted, and maybe wave 4 can be here or can be here, doesn't really matter, but maybe this is not wave 3 up here, maybe this is just wave 1 up here with an A and a B and a C back here, and then going up higher at that point. So that's also possible. But what we could also say, now we know that this is the 61.8%, we know that if the 150 becomes the resistance, or it starts to look weak at this level, then it's over. It's finished at that point. Okay, so, you know, for longer term traders, if that 150 becomes the resistance, then we really seriously need to look at that top being in place. I mean, obviously, when this wave 3 comes in across the board, across markets, there's going to be leaders to the downside, and there's going to be followers, and the followers won't have their tops finish very well. They'll just be pulled around, so we need to be aware of that. Okay, going to move on now. Facebook is traveling nicely. Once again here, I just really wanted to point out that we're still targeting the medium level here, 400, and we've moved through. We're still really in group 2 here, but we've moved through quite nicely. Once you're in group 2, you kind of stay there, looking for support on top of group 2. We'll push up. Once again here, it's possible to have wave 4 sitting here where I've got it, and then I've got this as 1 here and 2 here, and then I'm looking for wave 3 going up here, right? And then wave 4, and then wave 5 up through there. That's what I'm sort of thinking. And from this low to this high. But the other point is that there's a good case for having wave 4 here as well. So in that case, if wave 4 is here, then we would have 5 waves up here into this wave 3, and then that would be the top. So I don't know which one is correct, and it doesn't really matter, because we're just going to trade to the 400 and get out. You'll save yourself a lot. Trading to the level, trading to the large number and getting out is a much safer thing to do. It's like sort of trading over here. If you're trading up to the level here, you get out here and then you wait for the next setup. You know, be that here, be that over here. And that's a fair bit of time there that you could have been in another trend somewhere else. So if you've got, you know, I don't know, whatever you've got in your trading or portfolio account, or call yourself a trader or whatever, you know, you've got to keep moving those stocks around for, you know, so they're in trends all the time and not get caught in the corrections. So let's have a look at the tick chart. So this is the problem here. So we've got wave 4 here or here. If it's here, then we've got wave 1 here with an A and a B and a C, and that works out quite nicely in all of this. Got a nice A, B and C here, bit of an expanded flat. Yeah, but if wave 4 is here, then we just need to look at with wave 4 here, we've counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2. We did expand this up a bit yesterday or the day before or something. And then 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yesterday we're looking here. So basically 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. That's all that we're interested in, and we're going to take profit there. Don't know what that one's doing there. So if this is 1 and 2 here, then we're going to trade up to wave 3 and get out, but we could have wave 4 and wave 5 come into play. But we're not interested in this. We're just interested in getting to this point. And if wave 4 is here, then we're going to end at wave 3 anyway, with wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, yeah. So we do have a nice little support on the top of minor group 2 now. But we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for third. So we'll come back and test it again before sort of heading higher. Then we've got wave 4 here. So really, you know, what you see is not what you get in the markets. You always get the opposite. So we've been working through 1s and 2s here, right? Now, you can see all these are 3s and 4s here, 4s and 5s they call them. So it's a different part of the trend. So it's going to get a bit sluggish up here. Okay, a bit time consuming. Let's move on. Tesla. So I did take my position out of Tesla. It was only very small, and I was only from here to here. So with Tesla here, we've got wave 3 here, and don't forget that we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. Now, because we've got 5 here, after a correction, then we're going to get another 5. This doesn't count as 5 waves. I've gone over this. This is definitely in 3 waves here. So an A and a B and a C. You may be able to count it in some other way as well, but yeah, so and with this little move here, it's a little bit rough, and you could probably count it differently, but 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then all we've been looking for here is 5 waves up here. So it's pretty clear to see that we could have 1 and 2 in here, and then 3 and 4 here, and then going up for 5. If I've made a mistake here, all there will be, this will be a little 4th wave here, and then a 5th wave moving up here higher, and then that would be the end of it at that point. So we'll go in and have a look at that. So let's just bring in some more data. So it's that wave 4 here that we're interested in. So there's a couple of things here that are worth looking at, and we talked about them yesterday as well. So I've just been very conservative, and I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, and then going up for 5 here, right? So that's as conservative as I can get it. But I also understand that the market can go up further, and in that case, this would be wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then would have wave, instead of where this wave 3 is, would have wave 1 here and 2 here. This wave 2, and this wave 2 here, this would make all of this wave 3 here, that wave 3, and then this wave 4 there, and then that would make wave 5 at that point. But that would only make wave 5 of wave 3 at that point. Right, so then we would still have wave 4. I could just copy this here. Did I get the right one? Yeah. Then we'd have wave 4, and can we get that? That's it, I think. And wave 5 to make wave 5 here. So we could count it differently. So you just got to be a little bit careful about this. But yeah, I mean, there's a good case for a bigger move up here because well, to start with, this is, if this was let me think here. That's the length of that. So this, if that's the length of wave 1, is that right? Roughly. So then this one here, yeah, this is the thing here. It's just a little bit rough here, but my point being is that this wave 3 here, if I label this wave 1 and 2 here, right, this wave 3 here is actually smaller. It looks bigger, right? So it's got the form, but it doesn't have the range compared to wave 1. So this is wave 1 here, and this is wave 3 here. So wave 1 is longer than wave 3. So there's a reasonable, practical, logical case to put wave 1 there. Even if you took that high there, it's still below that. So that's my rationale for that. Okay, so let's just see. What I could say to you though is that when I don't know the wave count and so on, then what I do is I just revert back to my childhood. Well, not quite, but back to the trading levels. And when we're talking about the levels here, we've got 700 here, and then we've got group 1 here, so 10, 20, and 30. So what I normally find, if the market's been trading above the top of group 1 here somewhere, and then it comes back down, it's allowed to come back down, and it can come down as far as coming down to halfway between 10 and 20, so that's 15. So it's okay to come down and spike down to this point, but it can't find the resistance at that point. If the 2 becomes the resistance using a classic trading levels pattern, and this comes back down at that point, that means that the 2 is rejected. So that's really helpful within, you can use this in any group 1. If the market's been trading above here, and then the 2 become the pivot within group 1 here, because number 2 becomes the resistance with a classic trading levels pattern, then you know that it's going to be pulled down to the closest largest number. At that point, but it's going to be pulled down here. Yes, it will bounce and so on, but it will go down further eventually at that point. So having to get out, if you wanted to continue to the upside and take that on, I don't see any problem with that. But if the 2 becomes the resistance, then you need to know that, the party's over and you need to start heading home. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.